the
Yeah,
whole
and I
country.
was in Cincinnati today, came back for this.
Wow.
What do you do?
There's a
Deliver cars. For who?
Shoshone. So, yeah.
there's no cars anywhere, no trucks anywhere. So you deliver it. Somebody gets one in, they're ordering it from a
Yeah,
different state.
We're a national car company now. We have a fellow that's in Biloxi, Mississippi, delivering some cars today.
Yeah, I never took any trips. I deliver.
I saw a lot of vacant.
Housing shortage. How did we end up with what did we have a baby? Do this. unit and it's just
Yeah,
under
I
a
might,
thousand.
I might just change my.
And I'm like, that's, I get, it's probably because the shark, we're far away from
Next
everything,
month I get
so.
my
No,
home
it's a
Depot
good deal.
place.
Yeah, it's a
Trying to
real,
find something
You get
under
one?
1,000.
A knee replacement.
Oh, do you?
My daughter just sold her house
It was supposed to have been on the second
Columbus for 531.
Crystal clinic.
Oh my God. She sold that within
That's
a lot.
60 days or something.
Yeah. Where she moved to?
Brand
An
new.
apartment in
Brand new house.
Sunbury.
So that's the savings.
She cashed out.
I might be
She
able to
cashed
walk.
out.
that's okay.
Well, maybe, huh?
Oh, I hope so.
You will.
Okay, I think we've everybody.
Sometimes I think about it, I'm like, you know what?
We got missing Pat.
It's, the other reason our daughter has to sell her house and
Who is it?
are moving to
Pat
a more
and
expensive community.
Okay, so just,
And it's.
Oh, we'll just go ahead.
I can't find a house. Of course, it's slowed down a little bit.
A
Call the,
little bit, just very, just.
hi,
call
Tom.
the meeting to
Lauren,
order.
did you get my text?
You sent me a text?
I replied to the one that you sent me.
I
You
sent you
accused
an
me
email.
last time of
No,
that.
I sent you an email.
I mean, an email, yeah,
No,
email.
I didn't have open my email.
I was telling you, we don't have to move forward with any
But I
GC. We
will.
could go slow with the GC, but we have a new one on the topic, so.
Oh, okay.
We'll call the meeting to order, please, at 7 PM. A roll call.
All right, Ron Jones?
Yep.
Tom Johnson?
Present?
Debbie Darlis?
Here.
Tom Sargent?
Here.
Patrick Blair? Seth Halen? And Colette Wolosnik.
Okay.
Hello, Mike.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Okay, could I have a motion to accept the agenda?
I'll make a motion to accept that.
I'll second it.
All in favor, please signify.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried. Uh,
Approval of the minutes.
Approval of minutes.
I didn't see a copy of
I-
the ninth.
I don't think she,
Oh, I did, yeah, you sent it.
I didn't think that I did. I thought that I didn't send that, so I was going to send it when I send these for next
No, I
month.
thought you sent it like 2 weeks ago, when you sent,
I didn't.
I thought you did. Maybe
I thought that I didn't.
You're
You made me
thinking,
feel bad, Debbie.
well, hey, I thought I read them.
I know, I don't feel bad because I couldn't find it. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I was trying to make Tom Sargent feel bad.
September 20. Okay,
I mean, we could wait. It's,
okay, let's,
Yeah.
Okay.
do we want to,
We could postpone
yeah, I'm
that.
asking for approval of the minutes, but we don't have any.
that's okay,
No,
we
not
can
yet.
hold off
So
till
we'll
next
just
week.
hold off on that till next month. Okay. So we have an application here for a zoning amendment for J&M and Sons LLC, address 890 Talmadge Road. This is from zoned R3, that's the apartments that at that address down across from Simcox Grinding. They'd like to change it to an IC, which it probably should have always been IC, but it wasn't, so I just, is there any debate on that?
You have a presentation that you want to give us some background, some history.
Yeah.
I noticed in the application you gave reason for the proposed amendment. So I'm not familiar with the property.
Sure.
Other
Yeah.
than,
I can tell you guys a little bit about myself, my family, the property, what we've done, what we'd like to do. But it's family owned. My dad bought it in 2001 from John Epling. And then he built the first building, and every year he'd build a building. And then he built 48 units over 5-6 years. And then he kind of slowed down. The recession happened with the building, and he kind of stopped building houses and then just started managing his apartments. Spent a lot of time watching me and my brother grow up. We were big into water skiing and then soccer. And then he kind of maybe got burned out from building and just left it as is. And then I went away to school, started working, and realized I want to be in the family business. And he always made us go to work with him since we were, 5-6 years old. So I grew up mowing the grass out there, and I enjoy it. And this past, year and a half, we built 24 more units to max out the zoning of 72 units. And then with all of the growth happening, and I enjoy working with these guys and everyone at Brimfield. We'd like to build some more units out there, and we feel there's a big demand for it. Before, the past couple of years, we were nicknamed the Neomed dorms, and then Neomed built dorms. So we would get a lot of kids after the first year or two, they'd come over to us because it was, a lot more affordable, really clean, quiet, and we're not really an undergrad feel. And then from Kent, we'll get some faculty, some master students, and maybe only 1 or 2 undergrad kids that just don't want all the craziness. So yeah, my dad started building it, and then me and my brother got involved. We helped with the 24 unit expansion, and my brother and I kind of want to take over the family business. And Brimfield's a great area to do business in, and obviously there's a huge need for more housing stock. So we think it's a perfect opportunity, and it aligns too with the zoning, like you guys were mentioning. So with your guys' help, we'd like to build some more units, and that's a little bit about what we've done and myself and everything.
And part of this, correct me if I'm mistaken, but part of this was part of a court order years ago.
Yeah.
The zoning was actually residential, not in
Yeah.
apartments, and they were allowed to build up to these.
Yeah, so I think this was 30-acre farm, and then it got split into three parcels that were 10 acres. So my dad had an option to buy the 10 acres so long as he could get the bank financing. And the bank wasn't going to finance him to build all 72 units back then. And then he, instead of just saying, okay, forget about it, he went to another bank and said, will you finance me just to build 12 units? Even though it didn't really make sense financially. And they said, sure. So he built 12 units himself. I mean, my dad was just in construction. He did most of it himself, honestly. And then it leased up. And then the next year he went to the bank and said, all right, will you finance me to build another building? And they said, yeah. And then the following year he did that. And then he built the 4th building, and then things kind of fizzled out. But we're Greek. We're a very close family, hardworking. My great grandmother used to live in those apartments actually. And she helped loan my dad the money to buy the land, and then he paid her back everything. So my grandparents, my parents are really willing to help me and my brother. They want to see us succeed, and it's something we enjoy doing. So yeah, back to your point about the zoning. There was a court order for the 72 units, and I think I have that right here if you don't have a copy of it.
I don't have.
And it got approved for the 72 units, and he bought the land and started slowly building it out. I think we never thought we would ever max out those 72 units, because 20 years ago when he built out here in Brimfield, it's a little different than it is today. So, it's come a long way, and it goes to show. So,
Well, and there's a very big need right now in Brimfield for housing.
yeah.
We just approved, you probably watched the meeting, so we just approved, and we got Ken Tire. Martin Wheel is coming. We gave them a tax abatement to come there. They're coming behind Menards. And then we have Hamrick, which is behind Myers, and they're coming. And they're both looking to expand quite a bit, as well as some of the other light industrial that we're going to bring back there. We need somewhere for, these are higher paid skilled positions, but they need housing to come here. And most of the businesses are looking at where are they going to live, even if it's in an apartment close here or a housing development. Pulte's selling out like crazy. Ryan Homes, I just approved 18 in the last week. So we're going as fast as we can, but the demand is still,
Yeah, there's a huge demand, and
it's still very high.
By the time we got occupancy permit, a week and a half after, we were 100% full. And if we would have had twice as many units, they would have all been full. So
he invited us over to look at the units. They're awesome.
yeah,
And within a day or two later, he called me back and you're like, oh, we're all full.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
yeah. We started pre-leasing in January. We probably got about 30%, and then once people could actually see stuff, it just went like
It's
crazy.
true, even in Columbus, my daughter she
Yeah.
went to Sunbury.
Yeah.
She approached them in June, and they didn't have a vacancy till November
No.
for her to get in. How many units were you going to construct, additional units?
Well, if we get the zoning, it allows for 48 more units, but we don't really have a definite plan or anything. I mean, whatever Wolin, our engineer, can fit back there, and whatever we can afford. I mean, we'd like to build as many as we can.
You
But
may put one in and
yeah,
then another.
yeah,
and then
yeah,
another.
exactly. Like we for sure have room for 2 buildings back there.
Right.
If we design it, maybe we could put some more buildings in, but that's something I'd have to talk to Davie Resource Group about and we'll in extensively to see how many units can fit back there. But if we have the zoning, I don't know if we'll be able to max it out, but for sure one, but as many as we can, obviously, and as many as we can
Rent
afford.
usually go for?
Sorry?
How much does rent usually go on the lease?
So our existing product was around 89 cents a square foot. So we were renting for $9.50 on average for the 2 beds. Now our existing 2 beds are around $12.50, and our brand new 2 beds are renting from $13.50 to $15.50, depending on when people got in. And our 1 beds are around $1,200. So around $1.40 for the 1 beds, the new ones, and $1.30 for the 2 beds. And then our existing stuff got brought up by like 15 cents or so.
Awesome.
So it's been great.
How
Sorry.
long of a waiting list do you have?
Right now, I probably have like, I don't know, 5, 6 people that are very interested. And a lot of them are neomed students that are waiting to get in either January 1st, or a lot of them want to reserve the 1 beds for June, as that's like our most popular time for them.
How much of a turnover do you have in the older sections?
We have some long-term residents, but I'd say on the older stuff, people average stay 2-3 years or so. You get the occasional person that only stays 12 months. We normally do 12-month leases, but with COVID, I would work a lot of deals with people because they sold their house, they weren't sure what's gonna happen. So I said, we'll do a 6-month lease with the option to do another 6-month extension or go month to month. So it kind of gave them some flexibility, and we don't really have a corporate telling us do this or do that. I mean, we're people, and if we can work with them, we're happy to do that. Or if something comes up and we have a teacher, she got her funding lost. So we said, all right, if you need to just move out, we're not gonna charge you the 2 months rent because we're gonna fill it. So, you know, people appreciate that for
Good for
sure.
you.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Your court decision, I just asked that we have a copy of that so we can insert that into the record.
Yeah,
Because if we
absolutely.
have a public meeting, that is also,
Yep.
you know, something that we need to present. And
We have it on file. I just.
Does that go, did John Epling bring that lawsuit?
John Epling did. Yeah, my dad knew John Epling because we were big into water skiing, and John Epling owned a water ski lake, and that's how my dad met John. And John has a lot of properties around here, and he knew about this deal because of that. And John was really underwater on a lot of things, and this was one of them. So he was able to swoop in and
Really?
just get it. So just because of water skiing, we knew that, and we were good friends with Mike Vandeveer out there, and we're still very good family friends with him. And my dad, Mr. Vandeveer, built another water ski lake in Norton, and then we kind of got away from the John Epling stuff. So
Did you ever ski at his lake in Deerfield?
is that his private lake out there? Yeah, I grew up out there. Like when I was, as soon as I could walk, we'd go out water skiing every day. Like my life as a kid was going to work with my dad, and as soon as we were done mowing grass, we'd go water skiing. So, you know, and if we were done mowing grass, he would just find jobs for us to do, whatever it was.
He live in Florida now?
Who's that?
John.
I don't know what John is. I've been in touch with John Epling's son because he tried to sell us his duplex next door to our, and we didn't really have too much interest in buying that. He has Section 8 people in there.
Yeah.
That thing just needs to be torn down, honestly, you know? So for what they wanted for it, I mean, it just makes not much sense.
Was John Epling the developer of Butternut? Is that the same Epling?
I don't
He
know.
might
It might
have
have
been.
been.
He
might
used
have
to
been.
do
That was
some-
before my
Because
time.
I think I live out there and that name is familiar.
Yeah,
I don't-
That he
I don't-
went bankrupt.
I don't think
yeah,
Yeah, that's.
he
not
was,
right.
he was in with Mike Wino, and they had some tough times together. for
Yeah, it
sure.
was back in 2008,
Yeah.
2009.
Yeah.
I think he was the original builder of Butternut there on the state
Okay,
line.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think he did phase 1, and he did part of phase 2, and then in 2008 came along, and it was,
Yeah, they eat up a lot of people.
Yeah, and I mean, the reason why my dad survived it all is he was very conservative, and, you know, he was not overly leveraged, and he could ride the storm if he had empties or whatever. And,
Yeah.
you know, he's not as huge as some of these other guys, but he didn't lose it all and then have to get it all back. So, you know,
Yeah, John had financial problems at one time.
yeah, a lot of people did
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
well,
So
what's
Mike,
the,
what's your thought?
So if you guys want to make a motion, they would like to change this. The proposed zoning is to IC. you'd have to forward to regional planning for consideration from this meeting, and then set a public hearing. You won't be voting to decide whether or not you want it or not, but it would have to go to regional planning, set a public hearing, and then you guys would make a determination at this level after that public hearing.
So I will, if there's nobody with any other questions.
It's kind of interesting that, you have you have Grace Street, and then you have, what's the one that budding for the residential? They would be notified of the proposed zoning change along, what's the street?
So we would have to.
Yeah, well, Ron's not on my map.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, your property is beautiful. I was out there yesterday.
Thank you.
Well manicured. Your project, when you built the new apartment buildings out front, really professionally done. The construction company, they were clean, they were neat.
We were the construction company.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
And there's some other land that we have available. We'd like you to build some more apartments.
Yeah, we would love to. Let us know. We're happy to do it.
I will entertain a motion to accept this and send it on to regional.
I'll second.
All those in favor, signify. Okay. It will go to regional and should be back from then in what, third?
They'll have it they'll set it up for their next meeting in November, and I believe that's at November the 10th.
Yeah, it's the day before.
So that'd be November the 10th, zoning commission's the 11th.
Yes.
So we would be one day after their
So it'll
meeting.
come back here on December,
It would come here on November
in
11th.
the November reading?
Will be a public meeting on November.
It'd be a public hearing on November, and then you'd have to decide,
All right.
Okay.
Back to water skiing. Do you still water ski?
Not as much as I used to, but I still ski.
Do you know a fellow by the name of John Dembowski?
Yeah, he's the dentist, right?
No, he delivers pool water,
Delivers pool water.
and he's a big time skier.
Dembowski, well, was there a Bobby Dembowski too?
There's 13 of them.
Yeah, well, I know the last name Dembowski.
Yeah.
John, maybe I don't know, but maybe his brother Bobby.
He
was
was
the
the
dentist.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
He was I think he tried it even professionally
Maybe.
back in the day.
Yeah, the name sounds very familiar, and it's a small world in the water ski world.
Yeah.
We did slalom skiing, so you go through the course, you go
Okay.
around
Is
6
that, like,
buoys. Once you hit
Within
your max
500
speed, you
feet,
shorten the
or
rope.
how am I?
And
Yeah, I would say
we'd go
so.
all over the country
Okay,
growing up and
variances.
go to Florida like 5 times to train in the winter.
I'm gonna have to
It's
check.
it's specific.
You did competition ski?
Yeah, exactly. And then I kind of got away from that and just focused on soccer. And then I played Division I soccer at Marquette University in Milwaukee. And that was worse than a full-time job. So once I started working, it was pretty good. So
There should only be 4.
Yeah, John,
Okay.
John used to own
Okay.
what is now the Dusty Armadillo.
oh yeah,
He used to have that
yeah.
back in the 90s. And,
My friend Chase Trummel, his dad Dave Trummel, he built some apartments in front of Copper Creek. You know which ones I'm talking about? They would go there all the time. They're a good family. I think they're building some houses in Brimfield.
Yeah, we used to,
Did you ever work?
Okay.
my wife and I used to travel around with John.
No, but I met him. Yeah.
Country western line dancing.
I worked there.
Took 1 year to get last year.
It was like
We went around, all around the country.
Oh, yeah.
We belonged to,
Yeah.
That's it.
belonged to, Gary danced around.
We're gonna
Coming
be
down.
purple skiers.
Yeah.
About 2 days later.
That's the.
I
that's
haven't
the
looking for
seen
skiers, yeah.
And they-
Gary and
they
I have
used
always
skiers
been
around,
friends.
said,
Yeah,
come on.
no,
Like,
he said,
after we
let's
closed,
think
like the
possible.
summer was still light.
Like, I don't think-
And they'll take that ski, but they do.
No, I haven't.
I don't know why.
Whether he's still on.
I
used to,
I did it a
You're
couple
just
times.
driving.
How do you know John Dembowski?
Boldwood. I used to
You what?
drive Boldwood.
Oh, man, I'm gonna ask my dad. He'll for sure know. I mean, my dad is like a ski diehard fanatic. Like he loves it.
Yeah, he still goes out occasionally.
Okay, where do they ski at?
He goes down to the Ohio River.
Yeah, that's where my dad started skiing, Ohio River, and then he got into slalom skiing, and then he found these private lakes.
Who's
But
that?
They used to go down there.
Judy?
They had like a group of people. Michael Marchetto was one of them. My dad worked for the
She's
Marchetto
gone.
family.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with them?
We've had to
Out of,
follow
They're on
They were
Happily.
offered
Yeah.
kind of.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, the name, I know the name.
Yeah.
I have to make some changes to it.
But
Okay, I can.
But we're
Where you
doing
guys
good.
at?
It's
She
just-
didn't do it.
I live here in Brimfield, but
Just
I
had every
from
building
Tiverton.
on there.
I think she started, this is what she did so far.
I was from
Compared.
born and raised in
Okay.
Cuyahoga Falls.
Okay.
Now I'll
Okay.
change it again.
And then,
Well, you'll get to show me it, or you'll see her, at least you talk to her about it,
Nice.
and then ask her, and then I can do
Yeah, I
it.
grew up in Happily
She's
area.
ready for it.
Okay, is there anything else, Mike?
Changes.
yeah, for sure.
Yes, so sorry. So you're going to regional planning and then they're setting a public hearing. Do you want to set the public hearing officially today for November 11th
Sure.
at 6:30?
6:30 is good.
It gives a half hour prior before the meeting for public hearing.
November what?
11.
11.
November 11th at 6:30.
6:30. Yeah, I'll still be here then.
And then you guys can vote on that.
We'll have a time change right before that.
That's something I have to.
Time change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If people have questions, it's just the public, they don't vote on anything. The public just gets to say, we don't want that,
November
you
7th,
know, whatever.
time change.
Okay.
It was supposed to have been on the second, but my doctor had
So you
surgery.
could stage it with a bunch of people.
So is that gonna be here or?
It'll be right here.
Yeah.
And then is there anything on the 12th, like you were saying?
The 10th is regional planning.
Okay.
Yeah, there won't be anything on the 12th.
As long as we
That's
can make the
Friday.
agenda. If regional planning can't hear it on the 10th for some reason, because we have 5 days to get it to them, which we're doing.
Right.
But if they can't hear it on November the 10th, they push to December, then we will just cancel the public hearing. Okay?
Right.
So if you guys just vote on the public hearing and set it for that date, then we're good. We'll just have
Well,
to
I guess,
cancel it.
Laura can just let us know if they're gonna hear it or not.
Yeah.
Reschedule. Anything else? I see a proposed zoning district changes. That must have been it.
So what other houses do you guys have going
I
in
need to
Brookfield?
set the public hearing.
Okay.
The
So I make a
subdivision
motion.
on Malloy.
Yeah, you'll need to make a motion to set the
Motion for
public
the
hearing.
Over there.
What's that?
You need to make a
125
motion to
houses.
set the public
Who's
hearing.
doing that?
Ryan,
Okay.
Ryan and another builder.
I need a motion to set the public hearing for November the 11th at
I'll make a
6:30,
motion.
please.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So be it.
Thank you. Okay, that's set.
And that's at 6:30.
Okay, that'll be at 6:30, and that'll be a regular meeting too, right?
Yes, it's 7.
And then the only thing I had on the agenda left was the GC district. I don't know if anybody got a chance to take a look at all the areas in question. And
That's on 43.
yes, any changes or anything that anybody would have in rezoning some of those areas and getting the residential structures out of that GC district on those side streets.
Has there been any more movement on the proposed townhouse or whatever it was gonna be on, off of Chapman, on the other side, east of Chapman?
Somebody bought the property, 42 acres.
Yeah.
Somebody bought it. And I'm not so sure, Katie Leonise, am I saying her, like Mike Wino's daughter?
Oh, yeah, Katie.
Katie, I believe she made the offer. I don't know if they accepted her offer or not. But that's the last I heard. And she hasn't contacted me back to do breakfast or anything, so I haven't heard.
Maybe.
You know, she
So
says,
that goes
if
back-
I get this, we'll go to breakfast and I'll talk to you about it. And I haven't got that call yet, so.
Is that the
Wonder if they're
Colorado
gonna try and
property?
build their Epcon. product.
No, that's,
Or maybe sell it off.
It'd be
not
Ryan.
Rudy's, but
It'd be the same thing as they're doing in Cranberry
Can't think.
Creek.
Gotcha.
What's that name?
he was the old barber, used to be the barber.
Oh,
Have you seen the Epcon?
And there was another guy.
Okay.
The one that they have in green?
Yeah,
Yes, I toured the whole thing.
Karis Homes.
Yep.
Yeah, I talked to Glenna today, actually.
Bill asked
He's
him,
gonna invite me back down.
I went through Mike's house,
we,
the one he just purchased on the corner there.
Yeah.
I went through that one and then I went through a couple others there, just to see the whole product. It is
Yeah,
nice.
it's pretty nice.
When it was called,
Yeah,
Yeah, something like
he
that.
introduced me to them because they're interested in this.
Yeah, the one across the street,
And
Whispering
I was
Woods
talking to
now.
Rembrandt Homes.
But then he had
He's
the
super
other one
interested. And then I got in touch
Across
with
on
Dries
the
Homes,
north
and
side of it.
They love it too, so. The
Yeah.
land is super expensive. It's hard to make it work, but it might just, we'll see what happens.
Land is at a premium right now.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think? If you guys need some more time with the GC, I'm good with that as well. It's not a rush. I want everybody to think it through, but if you guys have thoughts or or that. We could also send that off to regional planning and the way we would word it is just get rid of all of the residential structures on the side roads and give us a clean map showing that. We can request that. You don't have to vote for it. We don't have to do the zoning amendment right now, but I could certainly pass that along to
Yeah.
regional with the new updated map showing the changes. And that way it's easier to see before you.
Yeah, list of the properties that you're concerned. I looked at it and I can tell you, it kind of put me to sleep.
Yeah, I know.
When I started looking at each one, and then I would go to the GIS and start pulling them up and
It's tedious.
yeah, it is. And so,
I mean, if that helps you guys, we certainly can do that. It's like I said, this has been in existence since what, 2004?
Yeah.
So it's not like we need to rush through it, but I mean, it's stuff with the comprehensive land use plan that we need to make the changes so that you could come in there, buy up some of those properties, start developing down 43 for us. And
so I'm not real familiar with the ones that you're really concerned about on the side streets on Howe and Brimfield Road.
yeah, not all those are just residential homes, you know?
Right. So I looked at, I did spend some time looking at them, but again, it takes a long time to go through the list.
I recommend, like, why don't you guys make a recommendation to request a map from regional planning, getting rid of all the side roads, and make that motion, and I could send it off to them. And even if there's a fee involved, we'll pay for it. It needs to happen.
Here, you want me to-
Yeah. I'm trying to think how to word it. And I know I just,
Just make a motion that you're requesting a map from regional planning to clarify GC district changes.
What
Make a
Mike
motion.
said, say what Mike said, yeah.
what's that?
Just say what Mike said.
Yeah, I know, I'm sitting there thinking. So I make a motion that we check with regional planning to get a map.
Yep.
Eliminate
Eliminating the residential
Eliminating,
structures
yeah.
on the side roads.
Eliminating the side roads.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify
I
please.
need a script.
Tom.
Motion is carried.
That's why I prompted you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, I have something
Okay.
I want to talk about here. And I have relatives my wife has relatives that live in Franklin Township.
I heard about this.
Yeah, and
They did.
they,
I'm sorry I don't work for them. No, I'm just kidding.
what Franklin Township did was the zoning inspector there sent a lot of letters to residents in regards to selling split wood
Yes,
in front of their property,
yes.
basically eliminating.
I didn't hear about this. No, this one's
You
new
didn't
to
hear
me.
this?
No.
This is- So I noticed that in Brimfield here, it's expanding. And it's different than like a garage sale. You know, they put them up next to the road, they stock it, and then they put a little box there so you can put your money in. And as the supply dwindles, they go back and replenish it. So it's not an event in which it's is like one weekend or something. It's ongoing.
Ongoing, yeah.
Yeah. And one property looks like he's turning on 18.
I know who you're talking about.
And I don't know if he's zoned for commercial operation, but
He is actually, so it's not zoned for commercial, but he actually has an agricultural permit to sell wood and to, what he is doing, that's exactly what he's got the agriculture for.
okay.
On 18.
Before you get to,
Yes, before you get to
Right.
Woodstown.
I know what you're talking
Okay.
about.
On the left side as you're going down.
yeah,
Yeah, he's got an agricultural, because we got complaints from one of the trustees on it, and I went and looked into it. And years ago, he was declared agriculture, I believe under Mesner, for the tree cutting and the whole thing. And we went through the whole business. And at first, he was stockpiling it all in the front. And I went to a really nice guy. He's a super nice guy. He's always got some kind of COVID sign out front.
Right.
But I said, everything's got to go to the back. Everything's got to move to the back. And he got everything to the back. And now I noticed everything moving to the front again.
Right.
So now I have to,
And now he's reclaiming some of the,
So I can't control the agriculture, but I can control it where I can have it pushed back because he edges to the road and then it looks like they graded off some stuff. Oh my goodness.
So it almost sounds like what we were talking about with the concession trailers. Is it that if you don't do something, it just keeps growing and getting bigger?
It'll keep
it is
growing.
growing.
You're right.
And I'm baffled by how much people can sell. It's not only in Brimfield, but other communities and
That's a
in
big business.
Franklin Township, they actually went ahead and issued cease and desist letters to property owners who were engaged in that commerce.
When they're declared agriculture, it's extremely tough to do
Right.
anything. I mean, because the state takes over and they're allowed to do what they're
They
doing.
can do what they want.
Well, I understand and that's an exception. So I guess we need to look at it case by case and try to corral that a little bit in regards to.
I have no problem with what he's doing other than.
Oh, I'm talking about the other,
Just clean it up.
other
Just
parts of
clean
the
it up,
community.
yeah.
Dude, he's got more than 5 acres.
He does.
And,
He's got more than
yeah,
5.
anybody that can do that if they have more than 5
Yeah, pretty
acres.
much the way you're right. The way the state law is written is if you have 5 acres or more and they ask for an agricultural permit and they give you a reason why, what they're doing, and that's one of them. Chickens, horses, yeah, we usually sign off as long as they meet the requirements. There's some other ones that are very unique that we actually were hesitant. I signed, and I was very hesitant on some of them that were going to become, I don't want to mention names, agriculture, and they have some large buildings that proceed. One of them is making wedding flowers. And I'm like, I was amazed by that. And I'm like, now, do I go into the building once a month to see if there's actually wedding flowers in there? It's like, but they had professionals, they had architects, and they had attorneys send me what they're going to be doing. And I'm okay. What do we got? Who am I to question that they're going to do it or not? So
It's hard to stop everything, but that's been a joke forever.
mm-hmm.
Just get an agricultural permit.
It used to
Then
be a
you
joke.
just put anything you want up, and nobody.
It used to be a joke in Middlefield, because the Amish would put a boat in a garage, and it was fishing's agriculture. So and they used to get it, and I'm not, so we're not like that here. But
So it'd be
still.
difficult then to have any corral that in a little bit.
I mean, the ones that there's a couple
had
that
14
sold.
acres.
There's one that's not on Ranfield. There's one that cleared all her wood. And the Amish company that came in.
I'm talking about the little display where they have.
Yeah, I
And
see
it's-
that over by Vix.
Right,
By
and
Vic's
it's
Sports.
not there, it's on about every main
Yeah,
road
there's
that
a
we
bunch
have.
of them. Yeah, I could see what we could do about that.
You see a
Especially
lot
if it's
around
not
like
agriculture.
campgrounds and things
Right.
like that because they're selling firewood.
And what the letter was, basically you're running a commercial operation
Yeah.
because it's for sale for such a period of time.
And you're creating traffic. Yeah.
Well, the neighbors, right, we live in but Franklin Township's just as rural we are.
Yeah, they are.
And so
I thought there was a whole other issue that I
No,
got
I
off
didn't
the phone
wanna
with Todd
I didn't
Pease.
want to bring that one up.
Yeah, there's a whole other, I'm like, oh boy, I don't want to, but yeah. It's,
I don't know if we want to spend energy in regards to that or.
we can start looking into that. And I mean, it might not be I don't know if we need to create legislation. I think I could probably
Just a letter probably.
letter and then tell them they have to go to the BZA in order to get this home-based business.
Right.
Is there any other
Or
business?
limit it to a period of time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we have any other business to
Yeah.
discuss?
Nothing new?
Okay, anything for the good of the order?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff new. Hang on, let me put my glasses on.
Now we get to the good stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you'll hear this before the trustees, because I usually do this in my trustee report and I run down. So no, we have, besides all the meetings, we're going crazy with meetings. Seems like we've got, it seems like they grow. I don't know how, but it seems like we're here every night. But so I have 2 tips going on with D-Hall down the street, and they're for the roadway extensions for the new industrial
Martin Wheel.
product there. Yep, with Martin Wheel, and Also, we have Aldi's coming in. Aldi's is submitting tomorrow, and all of the new roads going in front of Parliament and Just Cricket, all back along where it borders up to Talmadge. Those roads are at regional planning right now. I signed off on the replat, and then the replat is coming back to us from regional. They had a couple minor things with the engineer that they had to address on the plat, but other than that, it's going to go. Those are going to be dedicated roads, and it's going to be new retail in the front. And we, Dan's already got people, like Aldi's is one of them, and then we have a couple more
So
there.
where's all these going?
It is, where Wave Wash is coming in with they got a really cool design.
Yeah, I've
I
seen
think their
it.
architecture looks great. It's right next door on the other opposite side.
Towards
of the garage.
Talmadge.
Is there an access road that they're gonna put across for the people? in
Yeah,
Just
so that access road that leads to Arby's and to the new car wash, and there's going to be Valvoline between the car wash and Arby's.
Oh,
So
okay.
Valvoline quick oil change would be there, and then the road's going to keep going on past Just Cricket. So that road that you're driving on in the back, not on 18, but it runs parallel to it. That one's going to continue on.
Okay.
Um,
Well, just stop for a second, right where we're there. So the building going up right now behind Myers is Hamrick?
the one that's going on right now behind Meyer is Hamrick.
Okay,
The one behind Menards, which is the 30 acres in the back, way back parcel, and we need a road extension to it.
that's Martin.
That's Martin Wheeler, Kendall Tire. Mhm.
Yeah, I have a friend that works there and he said, I don't know if we're moving our entire operation or.
You are. Mhm.
Because,
Well, out of Talmadge they are.
yeah,
And we're talking to corporate.
yeah, off of Talmadge Avenue.
We have made, not officially, unofficially made them offers that we would offer the tax abatement if they were going to expand, bring corporate here. So we would continue on that.
You still friends with Talmadge?
Yes. Well, here's the thing. I won't tell you which community, but they were on the edge of losing to another community. They lost a couple businesses to another community already. And when we stepped in, we're like, we know how it got lost. We know who the weasel was, and undercut what we were trying to do. Once we figured that out, we locked that in, kept them out of the loop, and then we made them an offer. It's an enterprise zone. Ron, you're familiar with the enterprise zone that was approved way back in the 80s. I instituted that again, used that tax abatement there, and we pulled them in with that. And then that's a 60% for 10-year abatement. And then I took the remaining 40% and we used it towards a tip. I wasn't sure if I was legally allowed to do that, so I had to run through with lawyers quite a bit, but then we were able to do it. And then we tipped it. So we were very unique trying to get them, but it was a lot of legwork getting to that point.
Nice job.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a good win for us. And that alone, I mean, their payroll alone is just in income tax alone is like 100,000. So
They say about 140 employees.
yeah, right now as it exists without any.
So that ends up being in the JUD, right?
That's Jeff.
Right.
We split that with Talmadge,
Yeah.
so that we're sharing the revenue off of that. So,
So they're not losing it completely.
well, the county is, we're not.
Yeah,
So between the two businesses, we're probably gonna be bringing in, what, 40, 60,000,
200,000.
200,000?
you're thinking too low.
Well, I mean, with Talmadge, splitting it with Talmadge.
So splitting it, we'll have 100. It'd be 200. We'll
Yeah,
split.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
And that's without growth. That's as it is. And they're both expanding. So every business we bring is just more money. And that's without the property tax, that's income tax alone. And then, but it's a good win for us. I mean, we're able to, we brought in 4 more firemen. We've been bringing in police. Lauren and I, at some point, we're looking at expanding our department somewhere down the line, maybe 4 or 5 years down the line, but it's going to get to that point. So, we're at 230,000 in permits, and permits, we don't charge a ton of money for permits. So at 230,000 in permits, that we're running ragged. I mean, we're just really pushing. So, but I'll tell you, so we got the nursing home going in, they're framing. Redwood Apartment Homes, down the street from them, they're upward framing the structures already. They're not going to hurt you too much. They're in a little bit different market. They're pushing up to $3,000 a month for rent. So it's a little bit different clientele.
Yeah, different demographic, but
Mhm.
it's good for everyone.
It's good for all of us, yeah.
Redwood is amazing.
We have the subdivisions, Hickory Oak going in. Hamrick is working on a structure. The car wash is working on theirs. Jiffy Lube's in front of the Cascades. Aldi's is submitting tomorrow. Carbon Properties, I'm working with Jason Condiff. There are some plans for that. Don't know if they're going to fly yet, but I'm working with them. Cranberry Creek, we just gave 18 home permits out. And I just went there tonight, in between leaving and coming here. And it's just going crazy in there. No, we have more in there. Yeah.
Wow.
So Valvoline is coming next to the car wash. Walden Point is going into a next phase. And we have another developer just came in from the Cleveland area, Dino Palmieri. Do you know Dino?
Yeah.
So Dino Palmieri Salons, he owns them in Westlake, Beechwood, all around. He develops as well. So he's coming in to do the next phase. He's testing the waters here in Brimfield. And then we'll see where that goes because he has other ideas that he'd like to develop here.
Where are they going to put more houses involved in that?
There's another phase that you could fit 50 homes on where the road stubs out and goes to the back. It's a little bit different than
It goes in to the left then, or?
Yeah, so it goes into yeah, exactly. You know how you go in and then there's a cul-de-sac to the right, it goes to the straight. And then it goes back into all those woods back in there.
I think a lot of these new homes are attracting people from outside Brimfield or within Brimfield to move to a newer home.
I think we're bringing in more people.
From Cuyahoga Falls or.
We have Stowe, Cuyahoga Falls, we have a lot of
People are
that.
trying to get into Brimfield.
Hudson, you think it is? Yeah. New businesses. And this was your idea to add these because I always talk about construction. I'm like, you're absolutely right. She's like, we got to start listing new businesses besides just the ones that we're building. So Marathon opened back up on State Route 43.
Right.
Static Line is on Carg. Spartan Steel Works is on Carg. Belltown Hearing Aids is in the Cascades now. And then Blondie and Company expansion is the barber shop where the license bureau used to be is now going to be an extension. It's going to be a barber shop there as well. And then, as you know, we're at close to 230,000 in permit fee. So that is just a sign of how much we do in a day and how much it goes. And we try to get breaks when we can.
Anything about next to Panera Bread?
Yeah. I told you heard me say that. So I don't know if that's going to go. It's not. It's just I talked to Benchmark, who owns the Cascades now, and they're refinancing, and they needed another letter of credit. So they're not a letter of credit, but they were refinancing part of the things, and everything's requiring my signature for zoning. I don't know why. Maybe you know it. The banks are requiring the zoning departments to write these lengthy letters that everything's good, and it just started happening this year. I've never seen it before. Anyways, I did that, and I says, we need a restaurant next to Panera. He goes, okay, he has a good rapport with Longhorn, and he's working with Longhorn trying to get him in. So,
Boy, that'd be super.
yeah, it would be nice.
That's gonna be right next to
I
Panera
wonder if
Bread.
they'll be
That'd
able
be
to get staff.
Well, he I guess Benchmark's out of New York, and they've got several plazas like this, and I guess Longhorn does a lot of business with them, so I think they got a good rapport. And yeah, I don't know. That's questionable. I don't know. Taco Bell's barely open sometimes, and
They don't have enough employees.
Yeah, I found traveling that there's very few you go to a lot of the chain restaurants that have drive-throughs. Very few have inside seating anymore.
Yeah, so
It's difficult to find.
Is all those up there still having inside seating? Has anybody closed down?
well, I don't think you could go into Taco Bell. Last I knew,
I'm not sure.
they
Taco
might have
Bell's
opened
always
it.
had trouble
They might have
getting
been
staff.
open now.
Arby's is having trouble getting it.
Honestly, I just see the drive-throughs. I haven't been inside. Like if I go to Arby's, I just go through the drive-through. And
Yeah, they won't let me go through that in my box truck.
oh yeah.
So, Come
Yeah,
on.
There's a lot of competition for labor right now. I noticed
You
that.
just gotta walk up to the window.
Well, it's really weird because like you do that, but you know, you can't do it at noon because there's 30 cars, you know.
Yeah,
You're afraid somebody's gonna run you over.
you're right though, and that's awkward.
What I'm really excited about is the light industrial area behind Menards.
That's
Myers.
That's
I thought that might be a difficult sell, but it looks like you solved a little bit of that. And once we get businesses established in there, then it has a tendency just to draw.
It's a domino effect.
Right.
It
So-
really is. And
And that's be a big boost for the community.
mhm, that's a good tax base for us. I mean, I know we have levies on the agenda. And we need them. Don't get me wrong, police are next and we definitely need our police. So, but this is gonna help long-term. It'll cut back some of these levies as the.
Yeah, because people feel pressed with the
Mhm,
levies. I
mhm.
mean, I hear it all the time. Didn't we just pass the levy for this? Didn't we just do this?
Yeah, but as these businesses come in and your apartments are paying a lot on the tax, I was looking at your taxes. I mean, as that starts going and it'll cut it down for the residential.
How's everything going with the construction on 18? Is everything up to speed?
On ODOT's end of it with the road,
Construction?
yeah, everything's going real well.
What's that, Redwood?
We
Oh,
get
no,
some
that's fine.
congestion, there's some hiccups as the construction goes on,
What?
The construction.
because there's always like somebody takes a day
You
off
know,
and
the-
Oh, yeah.
somehow somebody forgets what the plan was and that, you know what I mean? And we had that issue a couple times, but other than
Yeah,
that.
the exit ramp, the eastbound exit ramp hasn't been touched all week. Because I go by there every day and it's like,
Yeah,
there's nobody working on this.
Tom's
we did
doing a
have
traffic
the,
study.
I should have done, we did have the ribbon cutting
Not you,
for,
Tom, the other one.
the fire station. So we had the ribbon cutting for the fire station on Tuesday. So that is a go, that is getting started. They're gonna see, you'll see a construction trailer there
Okay.
this week.
Is that, so the first phase is taking the house down?
You know, I'm not privy to all of the plans.
Because I thought they were gonna take that
But,
house down before.
They are gonna take the house down. And I mean, part of the plans that I seen that went to the BZA was removal of the house, combination of the lot and the surveyor. Should have that all under control now.
They should have taken the whole old town hall down right along with it.
I think it's building right over it and around it. And I have not been, like I said, that's,
I did.
That's exactly what they did before.
was it? Yeah.
Yeah, because the room where we met was the garage.
It was the old road grader.
Yeah.
Used to be in there.
Because I did some remodeling in there and the floor had to be level. They were saying, we just want to put some carpet down. You can't put carpet down on this. It slopes. It's like, people are gonna be falling over.
Yeah, we kept one of our old fire trucks in there for a while too.
Yeah. So I haven't been, other than, my role as zoning, I haven't been too involved with that at all. But, yeah.
Yeah, you got your hands full
Thank you.
outside of that building.
If there's no further discussion or anything, we will adjourn this meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, it's adjourned.
I know them.
Have a nice evening, nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you guys.
So are we?
Good meeting you.
Oh, good.